Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to see you all out here. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, fear is the enemy of freedom.
That's right.
Fear is the enemy of freedom, and we see fear being labeled out everywhere.
Yes.
This nation is under attack.
Yes.
It's under attack from within,
Yes.
from groups that will intentionally destroy us, who want to divide us and take us away from being the United States of America and make us the divided States of America.
Yeah.
We have racial strife. Where was this 10 years ago? It's manufactured. It's meant to divide us, to break us. And what do they expect us to do? Stay silent. What happened to free speech?
Yeah.
If you say what's on your mind any longer, and you're conservative, and you love your country, you get destroyed. You get nailed on social media. You lose your job. You get ostracized. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's not what it's about in America. You stand for freedom, and you take whatever comes.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
So we have groups out there that want to defund the police and get rid of the police. I know a few weeks ago I wrote a column when I saw what was happening in Seattle, and I referred to Seattle as the People's Republic of Seattle. And while there were some that were saying, oh, they should stop this foolishness and put the cops back in Seattle, I kind of wanted them to do it, because I wanted them to see firsthand how stupid, how silly this program was all about. And I think they got a little bit of dose of that.
Yeah.
We see these organizations that take over, anarchists. We have an organization called Black Lives Matter. Now, the phrase Black Lives Matter shouldn't be anything that scares anybody. Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, we can all get that.
That's right.
But this is an organization, when you look on their website, they're all about the destruction of the nuclear family.
That's right. Yeah.
I can't think of anything worse for Black lives and Black America than the destruction of the nuclear family. So I have to ask the question, do Black lives really matter to Black Lives Matter?
No. Absolutely.
I will tell you this, 13%. There goes Antifa. 13% of the population in this country is black. 36% of the abortions that take place in this country take place on black babies, as compared to 13% of the population. 35% of the population in prison are black. And we hear all the time about the disparity of blacks in prison. 35% of the population in prison is black, 13%, that's a disparity, that must mean racism. I don't hear anybody complaining about 36% of the abortions being black babies. Do all Black lives matter or not?
Yes.
We hear all of this about police action shootings. I was a prosecutor for a number of years. I can tell you, there are some police officers that do bad things from time to time, and when that happens, we deal with it decisively. But it is a small percentage. But we don't hear about all of the other concerns in the black community. For example, I got 4 numbers for you: 13, 35, 50, and 90. Remember those numbers. 13% of the population in America is black. 35% of the prison population is black. 50% of the homicide victims in the United States of America are black. And 90% of the people who killed the 50% are they themselves black. I don't say that to cut on black people. I happen to love black people. I say that because it's a reality and a truism that we have black genocide going on in this nation over and over and over again. And again, black lives do matter, And where is the outrage on the level of violence that's occurring in our cities and our communities all over the country on an annual basis? And when we have an organization that talks about the nuclear family being unnecessary, I got another couple of numbers for you. 29% of white America has no fathers at home. And that's a bad thing. 72% of black children born today will have no fathers in the home. Now, I don't want to say that being a single parent is a recipe for disaster. We have single parents all the time who do a wonderful job at parenting. But the reality is, you have a much better chance of success in this life with a mother and a father who love their children in a nuclear home.
Yeah!
If we're going to do anything to save black America, we need to encourage marriage, we need to encourage family, and all of us need to turn back to God so He will heal our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like disastrous times for all of us. It seems like it won't get any better. But I tell you, we are on the verge of the third great awakening.
Yeah.
And we are all going to turn back to God and be prayerful and reach within our souls for what is good and for what is right. Amen. And for what is free.
Right.
We are the greatest nation in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And we got there because God blessed this nation and blessed our founders, and it's up to us to continue the prayers and the beliefs that we received at the beginning of our country, and to continue that path going forward. And it begins with groups like you, ordinary citizens coming out, paying attention, voting, participating, supporting police. It starts right here. I am so touched and moved by this outpouring for law enforcement. You know, I've spoken to groups before, and we would have a police shooting in Elkhart, and groups would get together and they would say silly things like, well, why don't the police just wound them instead of trying to kill them? And I would have to explain that this isn't Gunsmoke. This isn't a television show that's scripted. This is real life. The police officers train and train and train and still cannot be adequately prepared for the reality of the moment when it actually occurs. We in law enforcement understand that and get that. You here understand that and get that. Police officers have to be a very special breed because we give them a badge, we give them a gun, and we give them the authority to protect us, including with their lives. And when you give someone a badge and a gun and authority to protect us and sacrifice their life, the least we can do is back you up. The least we can do. And we shouldn't be anywhere near talking about defunding police to create some social program. We should be increasing our investment in law enforcement, in training, and all mechanisms that will save police officers' lives and your neighborhood. We're seeing destruction all over our nation, and my gosh, here and even in Indiana. When we see protests, and there is a difference between protest and anarchy. We cannot tolerate anarchy, and I've been embarrassed at the reactions that we've seen where it's okay to allow hoodlums to go out and burn, loot, pillage, destroy, going after our monuments, going after our churches, going after our way of life. How do we tolerate that? Because we have cowards who hold back and are afraid to speak the truth and call it what it is. Criminal activity at foot, which must be stopped. So I've got news for you. If you don't draw the line, if you don't stop the crime, they're going to keep coming back. You watched all those national shows. You saw lines of police officers who were directed, ordered not to engage. And what happened? You had looters running in front of them, breaking into places, grabbing stuff, walking out. And someone is saying, well, that's okay, that's just protest. No, ladies and gentlemen, that's not protest. That's lawlessness.
That's right.
And it has to be stopped. Your responsibility not only is to support the police, but you need to identify those who back the police, and if they're not backing the police sufficiently enough, then you need to get rid of those people and get some people in who will. Protecting the community is the only thing that government's all about.
Right.
If you can't protect the community, then why do we have government?
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be here with you today. I hope I get a chance to say hello to everybody before I leave. It's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to come out and express support for people who I've worked with for my entire career. I was a prosecutor for 28 years, working with law enforcement hand in hand on a daily basis. Sometimes they make mistakes. Oftentimes they do work that's unbelievable. And the pressures that are on the families of law enforcement, and those of you who are members of law enforcement families, you know those pressures. They're deep. The suicide rate among law enforcement officers is sky high. People don't think about that. I think about it, and I want you to think about it as well. So God bless each and every one of you. God bless our law enforcement officers, and God bless the state of Indiana, and that name will not change. Let's be real clear about that. Let's be real clear. I heard that some people haven't been too clear about that, so I'm going to be clear. Indiana's name will not be changing.